Yo, welcome to Team Raddtitan, and today I'm going to be taking you through my long overdue room tour. We're coming up to the end of November 2018. I probably haven't done one for a good 5-6 months. As you can see, I've been very busy. This is mini Geo, so Geo Mark II. So hopefully he'll behave and be quiet, and we'll be able to get some business done. So come on, let's get started. Oh, the wife is holding the camera today, so you should get a lot more smoothness. Much better than my other partner in crime. Come here, close the door. Okay, so let's have a little brief scan. This is a scan of my room. It's not the biggest of spaces, but you know, I was convinced by my wife to make it sort of more. I had just one chair in here and stuff around either side of the walls, but it was very solitary. It wasn't. I don't think it was the right idea. I'm so happy with how it's set up. I've got a nice couch and things set up there for everybody, and it's much more of a family room now. I've got the TV and the bits and pieces. Okay, so we'll start over there. So I'm actually a keen collector of steelbooks as well. So, you know, there's all my Marvel stuff there, all the comic stuff pretty much. Jesus, I didn't realise how much I go on to. The comic stuff goes all the way down to here. Shit. Yeah, so I've got a lot of those, a lot of, you know, collectible stuff. Starting to get into CGC comics as well, which is deadly. You know, that's an expensive hobby to be getting into, especially when you like 9.8s. Alright, so we'll start over here. Oh yeah, mad love to my boy Thor Gunnarsson. He gave this to Alex to give to me. We're over in New York. I'm a mad Mike Tyson fan. When I was a kid, when I was boxing, he was pretty much who I modelled myself on. You know, I loved everything about him. I wish I had 5% of his talent, but really big fan. So thank you very much, Thor. Mad love, brother. And a big shout out to my other brother, Carlos Superlobo. He's a really nice guy. He sent me this Black Panther just out of the goodness of his heart. This sculpted bust. It's a beautiful quarter scale bust. I got the XMen piece in, and he knew I loved it, so he sent this to me. You know, didn't even tell me he was doing it. What a great guy. Big fan of his. He's a lovely guy. Check out his channel as well on YouTube. He's a top lad. Okay, so we'll start off with the first cube. So far we've got a nice compliant child, which is sweet. Okay, so the first cube, this is sort of Raddtitan's, you know, very special cube to me. It's probably one of my favourite in here. We have the Thanos On Throne exclusive by Sideshow Collectibles, 750 edition size. I also got the limited coin as well, which I think it was my boy Z. I'm sure that's his name. I got that coin. He's probably still selling them actually. Really nice. It's sort of in the XM style, very much exactly the same size, same way, with sort of nickeled front and you know, printed and then a shiny back. So this piece was sculpted by William Harbottle. I'm a massive fan of his work. He's probably one of the top boys working at Sideshow at the moment, along with Daniel Bell and a few others. Really top lad. I really love his stuff. And I have him next to the Sideshow Collectibles Silver Surfer Comiquette. I managed to pick this up off in a trade off my friend Tony Main. Mad love, Tony. Hope you're well, bro. Love to the family. He lives actually not far away from me. I never knew he was there. And I got this coin on the bottom. That was actually sent to me by my good friend Two-Face. I'm not allowed to say his name on the camera, so... but he's actually, my wife is probably a big fan of his. Whenever I talk to him, she seems to agree with everything he says. And then I have I think that's the San Diego Comic Con. That's the pass, which was really nice to get that. And then I have, just above it, you can see I have the custom fan art made pedestal, which is, I think, this absolutely magnificent piece of art. It's around 8 kilos. And I think it's around 15-16 inches tall with the cube set like that. It's got a light up in the bottom of the gold part. It's a really nice addition to the cube. I love it, and it's the right type of scale for this actual Thanos, because that Thanos is around 10 foot. You know, best case scenario. If he stands up, he's well over 30 inches tall. So very big piece of gauntlet. It does light up. I'm not opening the cube to do that, but you can sort of see. That's pretty much how I set up my cubes and stuff at the minute. It's sort of like that. And if we go...
Your comics.
Yeah, with the comics on either side. So yeah, I've got a couple of variants. So I'm sort of a bit in love with getting variant sort of covers. You know, really digging that sort of look. Okay, all right there, you growling. I've also started getting into weapons as well, which is another alarming thing. So I'm trying to pick up weapons from my heritage. I've got a good mix. Got a little bit of Greek, a little bit of Italian, Scottish, and English in there. So good mix. So I picked up this nice Spartan sword, Damascus steel. I'm really getting into those as well. It's devastating, expensive hobbies. We won't talk about that to the wife, I don't think. Right, let me open up this cube so you can start here. Okay, so what I have is Lobo premium format exclusive. This is again with the dog. For me, this is still one of the best premium format Sideshow I've ever made. I think it's magnificent. It's sculpted by Martin Canal, who is possibly my favourite sculptor of all time. I love his work. I've got numerous examples of his stuff all around the room. For me, I always put it Martin Canal as king, and I stand by that statement. I love his work. If you look just above how I've set this up, you can see here what I'm using to adjust these shelves in the corners is 6mm wire clamps. You can pick these up from eBay. They're about £3 for like about 20 of them. What you do is they're like U-bolts. You tighten them up, you adjust them, and then obviously they attach to all four welded sort of what do you call them? Like brackets. Yeah, like the framework of the DTOF, because the problem is that these parts of the DTOF here above, these are welded. You can see there, I don't trust that to hold the weight. So I've got double glass, and I've got some rubber cushions in between the panels, the panes of glass, just to keep it sort of in place. Oh yeah, and there's a nice coin there again from my boy. There's a Two-Face special again. Right, so then that shelf above is the Joker Premium format by Sideshow Collectibles. This actually is only the regular, but I got this custom head. I bought it off Michael Reali. It's sort of from Endgame. It's sculpted by Troy McDavitt. It's a really, really nice piece. It's probably one of my favourite head sculpts, custom head sculpts ever. As soon as I saw it, he said the price, I was like, yeah. Truth be told, I probably would have paid double. I absolutely love it, and it's painted really, really well. It doesn't have the best light on it, unfortunately, at the moment, but it is one of my favourites. It's got the slick back hair and the faded sides. You know, really, really top stuff. So, yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. Some of the best mixed media of many statues for me. I think this is. I agree with Alex. It's probably top 3. You know, even to the point where you got the flower, you got the rubber thing that goes all the way even into his pocket. You know, cufflinks. He's got cufflinks on there under his cuff that nobody can see, but he has some beautiful cufflinks there. Look at that. I mean, no detail. You know, left out jesters. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Look at the sculpt work on the gloves. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible. And then if you just rise up above it, you can see this is the Bain premium format, again by Sideshow. This is just the regular as well. I picked up, I got a really good deal on this. Again, sculpted by the legendary Martin Canal. Beautiful, beautiful sculpt, man. Crazy. Probably actually, I have to say, one of the best paint jobs, you know, for skin textures and things like that I've seen. I think for me, this actually could be probably the most underrated piece of this year. I love it. I love everything about it. And I actually only picked up the Poison Ivy next to him just as a companion piece. You know, I think that you know, the Green with Envy is a really bright, vibrant piece, and it makes the Bain stand out against it. You know, he was looking a little bit sort of plain up there on his own, just because, you know, it's a little bit of a realistic sort of colour scheme that they've used. But it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Really like that. Funny enough, that's a variant, that Green with Envy, but it's 2,500 edition size. What sort of fucking variant is that? How many do you want to make? I love it. And this is all this. I managed to customize this with just a little bit of, you know, like aquarium sort of. I think that, I don't know what that is. Is that ivy? What is that? That sort of stuff that grows on people's houses, doesn't it? This shit.
Ivy.
It is ivy, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, so then we'll open up this cube and you can step down here. I have the XM Studios Wolverine. I really like this Wolverine. It's not without its faults and its issues, but for me, it's the perfect scale Wolverine. I'm not like a huge fan of the character really overly. So for me, this is about as much space as I'm willing to give the character. And I think he's a perfect proportioned version of the character, 5'3". You know, comes with the coin. I've got the exclusive coin. If you look in the background, I've got the comic in the background over there. I basically just take them to the outside of the DTOF. So, you know, and try and keep it in uniform, top right hand corner of every piece. These are just plain DTOFs, but they're surprisingly strong, especially if you follow, like I told you, the U-bolt sort of situation. If you follow that and you do that and you cushion the pane of glass, it will hold. I mean, these XM pieces are 10, 12 kilos. So, and that's been in there for a year, maybe 18 months, and it's never moved. So, okay, moving downwards, we have, this is a new edition. So this is the Gambit premium format by Sideshow Collectibles. For me, this is one of the true sort of old school grails that can hold up. The sculpt is absolutely magnificent. 2 beautiful portraits. And we've got that, you know, smoking portrait, which now Disney has Marvel. You'll never ever see another licensed Gambit like that. He's got some grotty, dirty hands. You know, he's the raging Cajun. I love this piece. The mixed media coat is absolutely unbelievable as well. Great stitching. You know, you can articulate it a little bit. I just love every part of this. I mean, the base is not great. I hate that fucking X base. I always have since I started collecting. But, you know, I have one in here, thankfully, so it isn't too bad. Going down. How you doing there for squatting, darling? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
So going down, what we have is the Cyclops premium format. This actually at the moment is up for sale. I'm getting a couple of different Cyclopses in. I've got the XM coming, and I've also got a fan art one my boy Marcus Chow set me up with. So this is on the chopping block for a minute. It's actually a really nice piece, and it's much bigger than people have anticipate. I mean, you can put this next to the Gambit and the Wolverine. It fits perfectly. It's really nice. Actually, I think it's sculpted by Tim Hansen and Anthony Cipriani, who's the same guy who did the Gambit as well. Those two did these 2 pieces. So really nice job from Sideshow. The mixed media coat's amazing. A bit of a bitch to put on. It's just really, I don't think it's aged very as well as it could have done. But for a classic piece, there's not much wrong with it. Got a light up visor and everything. It's really, really nice. Comes in a very small compact box, so it doesn't take a lot of space in your loft or your garage or wherever you put your boxes. It's actually a really nice piece, but times have moved on. Okay, so moving across, we'll start with the bottom. See that okay, Dan?
Yeah.
So I have, there you go, little man. I have down here, I have the Sideshow Collectible SpiderMan comic kit and the XM Studios Venom. For me, these are really good pairings actually in terms of scale and size. That the Spider-Man actually is quite big for quarter scale, so it needs a really big counterpart. So the Carnage comic kit works, XM Venom works, probably Anti-Venom by Prime 1 would work. You need a big character in there with him because it's a big Spider-Man. But for me, it's the best Spider-Man out there. In terms of composition, when you're talking about sort of base to statue ratio and quality, I think this is probably one of the best pieces in here I have. I'll never ever sell it. I got a couple of Spider-Man coins sent to me by my mate Two-Face. Loved them both. Really, really nice. My wife bought me these nice glow-in-the-dark spider web things.
Classy.
So I have the comics on the side as usual. So I got the McFarlane. It's one of my favourite covers. I love that cover. Beautiful, beautiful comic. And then you're better off angling down with the light. You know, with the camera, angle it, yeah, that way. Because then you take the glare off. So step back, come back, and then when you're doing the Wolverine, that's it, angle it, the Venom, angle it down. Okay. Yeah, and then I'm getting into the CGC stuff at the back. Like I said, there's a Venom #1, there's a variant, sort of sketch variant. I really love the Venom actually. It comes with 3 portraits. I love all of them. For me, it's definitely up there. It's not, again, you know, some cleaner paint work and distinguishing features on the paint for the base would be good. But other than that, I really love the piece. I love the sculpt, the body. It's unbelievable. It's one of my favourites. My wife hates all the symbiote stuff.
Hungry.
Yeah. Eddie. I took my wife to see that actually. Oh yeah, and then I've got the media pass for this Singapore Game and Toy Comic Con. I went to 2000. I think that's 17 on there, isn't it? Yeah, that was great. That was a great time. Okay, so coming up, moving up into the cube, you're better off standing more in the centre to get there and close this door. How are we doing for time?
5 minutes.
Oh, good. So like I said, tilt down. Come centre, that's fine. Oh, you don't know, now I see. Okay, probably one of my most proud cubes, to be honest. I have the XM Studios Magneto and the Cable. Cable's like my favourite, probably one of my favourite pieces in here. One of my favourite characters, and I think that is an unbelievable statue from top to bottom. There's nothing I don't like. I have the fan art made decapitated Apocalypse head. I actually meant to go with Magneto, but I found a brilliant spot on the Cable base. I really love how that fits there. Really, it fits spot on. It's perfect, like it was meant to be. The Magneto is magnificent. It's still one of the, it's one of XM's best pieces still. People talk about the scale and, they talk about a few different other bits and pieces on that piece. But for me, it is very, very close to as perfect. A couple of little things you could tweak. I've never seen a perfect piece, but for me, 6'2" Magneto, I'll take that all day long. Comes with the coin, and you've got like a few switch out. That's a custom head I bought from my good friend Mike Wells. That's the Age of Apocalypse custom head. I absolutely love that head. I think when it comes to the sort of storytelling of destroying the XMen, I think this is probably one of the best storytelling pieces out there on the market. Really, really love it. And I've got one of the con passes and the CGC comics and the comics either side. So trying to follow a uniform. My OCD just won't allow me too much to deviate from my plans. Yeah, Graven Labs. Yeah. Okay, so then we make our way up to the cube above. And what I have here is the XM Studios Black Panther and the XM Studios Beta Ray Bill. I'm selling the XM Studios Beta Ray Bill just because I don't really have anything to pair it with that will work. It's quite unfortunate, really. I have the Thor, which will look great next to, but the Thor's just too tall to get in that cube. So
I've got a lot of glare on this.
Yeah, it's I can't, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. You've got angle, and you've got angle and mess about with it. It's a bit of a nightmare. It's all glass, and that's what you're gonna get. It's quite bright in here as well. So yeah, I love the piece. I think it's a really, really well done piece. It's just unfortunate I'm lacking something to pair with it. So that has to go. Black Panther, sculpted by the amazing Daniel Bell. I'm very proud to own a couple of his sculpts in my collection. I really love this piece. I love everything about it. It's one of them. Let's have a look at this. So, yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's very glary, that. Yeah, it's one of them ones. But, as a pairing, they're quite big. I mean, that Beta Ray Bill is huge. Yeah, a lot of light in here. Oh, there you go. That's actually not too shabby. Yeah. Okay, that'll do for now. Okay, so then we move on to the next piece. This is, again, this is another part of my OG club. This is the Sideshow Collectibles exclusive Thor. I really love that bearded portrait. It's one of my favourites. I'm a big fan of the piece. Again, not one of those pieces that is absolutely flawless. I don't think there is one in here, but I'm a big fan of a lot of parts of that. I like the muscularity of him. I like the flow, and I love the pose. A lot of people say you've got to be displayed low down, but it depends on what sort of there is a majestic sort of look to it when you have it up high as well, and it's looking up to the sky. It's just beautiful. Really is nice. Base is a little bit hollower than I would like it to be honest. Not a lot of people talk about that sort of stuff. Mixed media hasn't aged well, so probably in countries that have got a high humidity, I wouldn't advise picking this piece up unless you have some sort of air control or humidity control in your house. But over here we're fine. And then when you go above, you can see I've got all the coins as well, sent by my boy Two-Face. I've got the Thor one there, and then I've got that. That's actually a beautiful coin. It's a 75th anniversary coin, which actually matches this piece, the next piece, perfectly. This is a Sentinel of Liberty by XM Studios. Do you know why it's called the Sentinel of Liberty, babe?
No.
You clearly
believe it or not
paying attention when I talk to you all these times. So it's called Sentinel of Liberty because that was the code name for Captain America on his very first mission. This is the 75th anniversary sort of piece that XM did. It comes with a modern shield switch out and a modern head and then an unmasked head. The thing I like about this the most, this piece, I really love this sort of museum feel to it. The base has got sort of like a bronzed antique look to it. And it's got like planes and, you know, tanks and just like war scenes all over the place. I think it's a magnificent balance. You know, I really do love that. I probably wouldn't own any Captain America pieces if it wasn't for this piece, because I'm not interested in the action part. I just love the sort of stoic hero look. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll close this. It's only 70. There's only 750 of them in the world as well. It's pretty low. And then we'll go here. So we'll start low and work our way up. No, we'll start low and we'll work our way up to the top. Okay, so this is actually probably the pride and joy of my collection. This is the XM Studios Thanos, but it has been custom painted by Ian Wilkinson. And he absolutely killed this, man, top to bottom. I love every element of this piece. You know, he updated the base, he found bloody new skulls underneath the paint job. You know, he sharpened it all up top to bottom, added some magnificent shading to bring out that beautiful sculpt from XM that was over painted, which is a shame. You know, I have then the coin which sent to me again by my good friend I nearly said who you were. My boy Two-Face sent it to me. And then if you go up towards the head, I have the one of a kind, not the no, I'm still on Thanos, babe. I have the one of a kind King Thanos portrait, which I had made. I just love everything about this piece. You know, it's my favourite Thanos, easy. It's not even close. I because obviously the King Thanos is a little bit fatter, I've tried to make this Thanos, the King Thanos, sort of on his way to becoming King Thanos. So, you know, he's a little bit more, you know, his hair's not all completely receded, not gone all the way back. And obviously he doesn't have that really, you know, that sort of overcomb situation going on. But I really, I wanted to just show the progression of it. I really love the paint job. And the great thing about Ian Wilkinson is if you give him a piece to paint, once he's painted it, he won't paint another. So this is truly a one-of-a-kind paint job. There won't be another one, which I really like about that. You know, that's why I'm giving him a few other projects to do. This is the fan art Mistress Death. It's a really nice piece. Comes with 2 switch outs. It's a plain paint job in a way, but it's just like a quarter scale Bowen to me, and I really love that sort of element to it. It really fits this XM Studios Thanos scale wise perfectly. You know, it comes with the sort of human head, but I don't like it. You know, my wife hates it, so we're going with the skeleton version. I think when it comes to it, that's a good thing about having all these Thanoses is I got one on the throne, I got one with Mistress Death, and I have the Bowen one as well. So I've got Thanos covered. And then if you move up, you have the classic Iron Man by XM Studios. This is my favourite Iron Man. I love the Mark 7. Mark 7's probably the best Iron Man out there. Other than that, I'm actually Imaginarium are actually some really good half scale stuff as well. But for me, this is the comic book Iron Man, and beautiful paint job, Ferrari red paint job, sort of champagne gold sort of situation. I just love it with the Ultron base. Again, coin courtesy of my boy. So thank you very much for hooking me up. And then I actually really love this cover as well. It's like a Mexican exclusive variant, you know. My boy Ray Perez will be loving that. It's true Mexican power. So that's like, you know, and that's the classic Iron Man there. I just love that. I really like that cover. It's hard for me to get hold of that. I paid a lot for shipping that. Okay, and as you start, how are we doing for time? Let me look what we got.
5 and 6.
Sweet. Okay. So as you move your way up, talking about Mexican pride, this is the Deadliest Mercenary. It's a fan art piece. It was sculpted by the amazing Ray Perez. He's a traditional sculptor who's just absolutely incredible talent. He's a good friend of mine, and we're very proud of what he's doing. He's now doing some projects for XM, and other companies are coming in asking about him, and he's progressed massively. This piece is, if I have anybody that walks in this room that doesn't know statues or doesn't know what they're looking at, that's the piece that they want. If somebody comes in here and they're like, oh my god, like this, that is the piece that everyone says, Jesus, that is the best thing I've ever seen. So it really does draw a crowd. Beautiful piece. It comes with a Ryan Reynolds switch out portrait, which is just behind it. This next to it is the Sabretooth. This is a fan art piece. It's actually really rare. There's only 38 of these made in the entire world. I'm really happy with it. I bought it from my friend Marcus Chow. The only thing is, I think it's painted okay, but again, I'm going to send this to Ian Wilkinson, and he is going to cane this. He's going to turn this into one of the top 5 pieces in this room, I have no doubt. The sculpt is there, the scale is there, the pose is great. I love everything about it. I just think the paint, I don't like the fact that this yellow on his beard is too close to this yellow here. That bothers me a lot, and you lose a lot of the sculpt in this dark, so you can't really even see it there, and even on camera it just looks so dark. So I'm going to mess with the colours a little bit and see what's going on. And then I have my auntie's a really talented artist, and she drew this of my boy. He passed a few years ago. Miss him every day. I have my comic rack. I actually stole this idea from Mike Wells. I'm pretty sure it's him. I stole it from, I think it's him. So I have just a few pieces on there. Actually, I had comics on here, like the ones that have got characters in this room, but I'm actually sending them off to CGC tomorrow. So now we've got a few different pieces. A friend of mine sent me this signed piece, beautiful, and Jim Starlin actually signed that for me to the Raddtitan thing, which I'm very proud of. So I've got it in a nice top loader, keeping it safe. Okay, and then we'll move on. This is my, let's have a look. This might get a bit bright. So this is my custom. This is like an antique unit that I managed to pick up really cheap, but for, people have always said to me I could get custom cubes and this, that and the other, but for some reason I really just love this as it is. I love the cherry wood, I love the 10mm tapered glass. I just think it's a really classy unit, so I'm never getting rid of this. I just try and find pieces that actually fit inside it. I can't have a room full of like Bestas and fucking Detofs. It's just not good. Have to have a few nice units. So this is the first piece I ever got. My wife bought this piece for me, so she actually started the statue situation. So this is all your fault. Hope you were well aware. This is a Randy Bowen piece.
I want to say dagnammit.
Dagnammit. And this is faux bronze, 303 in the world. It's with the XM Studios coin at the moment because I can. I've got a few other coins of Thanos, so I really love that cover as well. I should really get that CGC, but story for another time. And then next to him is the Apocalypse by Bowen, which for me still is one of the best Bowen design pieces, sculpted by the Shiflett brothers. I love it, and I love the Shiflett brothers. They do some amazing stuff, and this for me is still the best Apocalypse, any scale, anywhere. I think it's magnificent. Everything about it I love. Colours, paint, pose, portrait with that sort of nonchalant face. I think it's perfect.
Nonchalant, eh?
Yeah, good word, isn't it? Do you know what it means?
Yeah.
What does it mean? What does it
Are
mean?
you testing me?
Alright, so
Like
when you...
I don't care. Like nonchalant. Like
Well done.
whatever.
Emotionless, careless.
Don't test me on the
Good.
English language.
Good. Okay, so then we start getting on to...
You stick to statues.
I'll stick to statues, yeah. We'll leave the education to you. So what we have over here is the beautiful Daniel Bell Electro. Sadly, this is another one that I'm going to have to part with. I love the piece. It's one of the strongest Spider-Man villains line anywhere. I would probably say only Dr. Octopus probably beats this. Other than that, he is the second strongest. But the reason is that, as you can see, I love this unit, but when I do that and I put the things across it, I lose so much of it in display, and it's just not fair. So I don't have Bestas. You can take it back. Sorry. I don't have Bestas. I don't have units like that. So unfortunately, I think it has to move on. comes with this portrait. The modern portrait is one of the best I think XM have done. That's the classic. That's the modern done there. Yeah, that's a beautiful portrait. That screaming modern head's magnificent, stunning. And then we get on next to him to the Carnage Comiket exclusive. If you're looking at these Comikets, the Carnage, the SpiderMan, don't get the exclusives because the prints are really shit. So it's only the edition size is very low on these. If you're thinking about getting the X, it's probably worth it for that. But other than that, I wouldn't waste your time spending too much money. For me, this is one of the best sculpted pieces I own. I think the details that are going on it, the striations of the muscles, everywhere, every inch of it, it's stunning. I know that it's bulky. I know that it's overly muscularized because it's Ariel Olivetti art. But I think when you're looking about statues and you're looking about the beauty and the work and the craft that's gone into it, you'll be very hard to find a better one. That's why the Venom is so popular. It's the same sort of thing. The details in the Venom sculpt is unquestionable. Never mind the scale or the size. The quality in the work is just stunning. And then this is a recent addition I managed to pick up, which is the Sagat from Pop Culture Shock. I don't have anything else that's Street Fighter. I don't really care. For me, this is I think this is the best Pop Culture Shock piece I've ever seen. I really did like the Zangief actually that Alex had. But for me, as soon as I saw this, I had to buy this off my boy Joe. Mad love Joe. Like literally the same day I was throwing prices at him. He was like, no. I was like just keep upping the money until he said, I'll think about it. And then I knew I had him. But I love the mixed media on the shorts. The pose is absolutely spot on for Muay Thai. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I love the bodywork on it, the sculpt on it, the paint. I think it's really, really something special. So I'm really proud to have that in my setup. Okay, and then we'll just close them. How are we doing for time, my love?
6 minutes.
Okay, maybe I can get this right. Okay, so moving across on my mantelpiece, lovely pictures of my wife, a few awards that I graciously won last year. She's a pretty woman, isn't she?
You've got this nice.
Yeah, I got that's my first baby. That was a nice card. So I got these awards last year. Me and Alex won. We basically got a clean sweep actually. All the awards that we wanted to win, we won. So, best statue page, best statue channel, and we got the Victor Rosario award, which is there, which we're really proud to own. Victor Rosario was a good friend of ours. We should have a Lou award coming as well. So we should have that up because Lou is another one that sadly passed this year that we lost. Another really great guy. I don't think his passing was appreciated enough. He's a real big loss to the community. Oh yeah, there's my Bain print. I managed to pick that up at one of the London cons. Mad love for Tom Hardy, man. Bit gay for Tom Hardy, totally.
He looks like he's wearing his Baby Bjorn.
Yeah, Baby Bjorn. He's got his boy around. It's just under the shop there.
Baby Bjorn.
It's got it just there. That's the baby head right there. He's looking down.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you move on. I have the Red Hulk premium format. This is the exclusive, but I only display it with a regular head. Might be a bit of glare on the glass there. Love this piece. I've got the Imaginarium Art Hulkbuster parts helping to accentuate the base. Really, really love that piece. Sending that again to Ian to be repainted just to my style. There's nothing really wrong with the paint. It's okay paint job. But I really think, look at his Dracula hairline. What the fuck, man? Come on, soften that line. Jesus. But, I want to bring this, because the sculpt is crazy. The sculpt of this piece is absolutely unbelievable. So I really want to get, I think this is, I think this is Pablo Vigiano, who sculpted this, who I'm a big fan of. I don't see too much of his work these days, but I hope he's still busy and doing his thing because he's a very talented man. Yeah, so I'm going to get that redone, sharpened up a little bit. And then, that will be that. Then they've got another one of my boy at the moment. There's Neo up on the thing. Another one that my auntie drew. It's really nice, actually, that. She got him spot on.
Yeah.
Then I have a couple of Mondo prints. So I have It Can't Rain All the Time from The Crow. It's one of my favourite 90s films. And then you've got to show some mad love for the Terminator. Jesus. If you ain't got a Terminator, any Terminator, affiliation, you can get the fuck out of this room. Terminator's king. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up then. Sorry if I rambled on. Apologies for the delay in making this video. When you probably see this in 3 months, it'll be more different again. But thanks for all your support this year. Me and Alex really appreciate it. Be nice to each other. God bless. And thank you very much. Peace.